Greetings, all you manics and minds on the grounds. Welcome back to another Warframe's ins and outs. Today, we are going to be taking a look at Zephyr. Now, Zephyr is going to be getting some touch-ups here and there to her abilities when the new update of Warframe comes out later this month. Hopefully, it's later this month. And that's all fine and good. But how is she right now? Is Zephyr Prime worth going for? In my honest opinion, she is. Because she, not only with the right synergies, can do a lot of damage, but she's also pretty survivable and honestly a decent frame. She's not, outstanding or anything. Of course, the helmet system does help. But with all that being said, what does she bring to the table? Now, before I get into that, there's no point of me playing Warframe right now. So I haven't been playing Warframe very much. So I don't know how much more Warframe content I'm going to be doing until the new update comes out. So if you subscribed just for Warframe, well, don't just subscribe for one thing on a YouTube channel. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless that channel only does one thing, and I don't. Anyway. So, Zephyr's passive. Move faster while airborne and fall 35% slower. Now, that is actually... Her passive is disabled with the augment that I have that I actually do recommend using on her. Because I don't mind her passive too much, but it can get a little annoying. So, her first ability, Tailwind. This is the ability that she is most known for. The only really thing you need to know about it is it gives you good mobility. That's kind of it. So you can use this in lieu of an Arcwing in open world maps. And you can get to point A to point B pretty damn fast. But, Arcwing launcher isn't that annoying to get your hands on. So there is that. It is definitely an option. It is also to note that it can deal damage. And if you jump into the air, you'll actually knock down enemies. So let's show that. Let's first show the normal damage. It does like no damage, but it will knock enemies down. So that's pretty neat. I do wish it was a little bit different. I wish it was a bit better. But also you can charge it up and then float in the air. If you want to. And then you can dive bomb. So the longer you charge it, the higher you'll go. I also do not know what the hell this pose is. Anyway. Yeah, the higher you go. So there is that. And then you dive bomb. And it does like no damage. Whatever. It's not meant to do damage. It's more of a mobility tool. Anyway. Her next ability, Airburst. Now, this is going to be getting a change. I think this is one of the abilities that's going to get a change. I hope it deals more damage. I would love if this was actually changed into like a wind blade that you could do a small combo with and deal damage that way. But it mostly just knocks enemies over. So that's really it. It sort of flings them around. At low levels, it can kill, but to be honest, it's a kind of a mediocre ability. Now, it does have a synergy with her 4, which we'll get to, and her 3 is this. So all you really need to know about her 3 is that it's a survivability tool, and it's actually pretty damn effective. So it just redirects projectiles around you. So there's that. And with the Jetstream augment, it will give you more movement speed, and your teammates get more movement speed and more projectile flight speed. So essentially what that means, with something like, I don't know, a Catch Moon secondary or something else that uses a projectile, the projectiles are going to be moving faster. So this is super easy to see with something like, I don't know, Super Vandal. So this is how fast the projectiles move without the buff. It is affected by power strength, the buff is, and then this is with it. That's effectively hit scan at this distance. Basically, when I tap the trigger, it just, you know, goes right to the target. So let's show this redirection in the easiest way possible, which is simply to spawn in a bunch of Corpus Techs and let them shoot at me. I'm going to turn on invincibility, just why not? Because it really doesn't matter as this demonstration. Oh, fuck, I forgot to unpause them. But on me, it lasts 48 seconds, which is decent. So projectiles are just moving right around me. They're kind of hard to see because I had to turn the graphics down because it was giving me a headache. You know, the projectiles move completely around me and they are absolutely not hitting me. This is just cathartic. And yeah, her 2 doesn't really do much. So, now, let's move on to her last ability. So, her 4 has a lot of things going on, and this ability is going to be changed so the enemies are sucked into the tornadoes easier. So, this deploys some tornadoes that will pull enemies into them. That's the idea, but it will really happen once it's implemented, once it's actually put into the game. So these tornadoes, they just sort of move around on their own, and they will pull enemies into them, and by default, which we'll get to in a moment what that means, they deal impact, puncture, and slash. So there is that. You can use your 2 to make them bigger, and all that good stuff. So if you shoot one of these tornadoes, it will change color. So there's viral on this. I think it's either viral or corrosive. Hold on. Okay, it's corrosive. So you can add whatever element you want to these tornadoes. You can put heat on them. You can put viral. You can put toxin and corrosive, whatever. It does not matter. The tornado will take it. But it's only one type. You can't have heat and corrosive, as much as I would like that, or heat and viral. But they'll deal that damage. And in the past, because corrosive used to be able to 100% strip enemy armor, Zephyr was incredibly good at stripping a large group of enemies of armor. She didn't do it quickly, but you could do it. Now, you can't completely remove armor with corrosive alone. However, the tornadoes are decent crowd control and they do damage. Also, there's another thing. Enemies that are in the tornado take like double damage from gunfire. You can start to see where I'm going with this. So, let's take out a high damage weapon, like, I don't know, the Rubico Prime, and spawn in corrupted heavy gunners. It won't matter if they're paused or not. So, all we do is this. And the enemies take quite a lot of damage. Remember, there's no headshot multiplier here. But you can also recast the ability. They go everywhere. I really wish... Oh, well, once the change comes out for Zephyr's 4, it's going to be a lot more usable. But you can see there that it works very, very well. Now, electricity with her tornadoes and the augment funnel clouds is actually very, very strong. So let me show that really quick. If I can, I'm pretty sure I can do it. So I need something like the Fulmin, and I need to mod it strictly for electricity. I don't use this weapon very much anymore, because So give me a moment. Okay, modded for as much electricity as I can do without a ribbon. The build itself really doesn't matter too much. So we spawn them in again. Now what Funnel Clouds does, let me actually go back to and explain what Funnel Clouds does. So it creates 8 additional tornadoes. They're half their size and will not pick up enemies. But what it will do is take those enemies and, well, funnel them together more often than not. So yeah, you can. This is definitely a combo you can do, and it is quite potent. That's right, I don't have Jetstream on anymore. So yeah, this is electricity is just so damn strong. This is definitely a thing you can do. I don't know if this will go away once Zephyr gets changed. But these are corrupted heavy gunners level 150. Well, 145. So they have a fuck ton of armor and health. Now just imagine if I had a ribbon for the Fulmin. So yeah. Now, let's do that again one more time. And then I am going to go into Steel Path with this exact build. But I'm probably going to change something so I can also have Jetstream. And I want to quickly, well, actually no, you can look up like Grindhard Squad's video or someone else that has done this synergy before. But you can already see that this is kind of a crazy strong synergy. It might be a bit too strong, honestly. I really do hope that this stays because it's honestly super cool. This isn't broken DE, this is like actually awesome. Yes, it's doing a shit ton of damage, but have you seen Saren? Have you seen Mesa? Have you seen Titania's Dexpixia? Anyway. That is Zephyr in a nutshell, and this is the build. So this is a Zero Forma build, works extremely well. I've had Zephyr Prime for ages now. Anchored Glide, not 100% necessary, but why not? So I'm actually going to go into a real world mission, and I am going to probably do Disruption, and I'm probably going to use the Funnel Cloud trick to deal damage. Now the only issue, I'm going to have to rely on a secondary or my melee to kill the Demolist. Because the Fulmin by itself, just modded with electricity, isn't going to do it. Anyway. The Fulmin build literally doesn't fucking matter. I know, it looks like crap, but this is just to boost electricity with this weapon. I think it would also work with the Oma. I'm not too sure. I don't really care. And of course, I'm going to be having my Panzer Volbophyla. And just for giggles, let's see how strong this synergy is with the Panzer Volbophyla's viral damage. What is hurting these guys? The heck? Okay, there we go. Spread that viral. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I know I have my effects intensity down. Because like I said, it was giving me a headache. I've been having a mildew problem in my house. So, once that's resolved, I'll be able to have the effects intensity back up. And no, there's nothing I can do about the mildew. Anyway, me complaining aside, so let's go into Disruption. This synergy is actual overkill against these level of enemies. Because these tornadoes are literally going to touch an enemy and they're going to get obliterated. I'm pretty sure Yeah, the Fulmin just by itself, even just modded with electricity, just obliterates them. So, oh, enemy toxin weapons. That's fun. But luckily, it shouldn't be that big of a problem. It's such a cool synergy. It is honestly just so cool that that's actually a thing. Oh, hello. Yeah. This is going to be a piece of cake. The reason why I'm not doing Steel Path is because not every single person plays Steel Path. I know, like, people are like, oh, if it doesn't work on Steel Path, it's garbage. Here's the thing, though. Most people don't play Steel Path because there's no reason to. Also, I killed that bastard. Why? It does the glass shits keep happening. I swear to fucking God. Anyway. So, Steel Path will be changed to actually be worth it soon with the new update. Thank God. And apparently some people are complaining that, you know, you can't just endlessly farm Steel Essence anymore. Thank fuck you can't, because here's why. I don't want to have to spend an hour in solo survival or team survival in one corner with Korra. It's not fun. It's boring, tedious, and puts me to sleep. So, thank God it's actually going to be, you know, better. We're going to have to fight mini bosses and things like that. I mean, I don't know how tough the mini bosses are going to be. They're going to be the Acolyte guys. And they're tough. They're kind of annoying. So in Steel Path, they actually might be a bit of a problem. Good. Good, I say. And if someone complains that it's too hard, I swear to God. Anyway, back to this. This is super easy. I mean, this is super smooth, effortless. Of course, once Zephyr gets her buffs, she's going to be even better. And my hope is that this electricity, you know, tornado thing still exists and is only even better because the enemies will be pulled into those tornadoes more easily. Also, this goddamn Grenadier Maniac, get out of here. I feel like they could also trim the animation a bit on some of her casts, just to make it a bit faster. Also, you just do this. All are dead. It's great. Yeah, electricity is just strong. Anyway, I am going to bail because, well, I don't want to stay any longer. And like I said, I haven't had really much incentive to play this game lately. I've mostly just been playing Payday 2 because that game is legit fun. And, you know, is it better than Warframe? It's better at certain things. It's definitely better at rewarding players for difficulty. And it's definitely better at, like, a cycle. The problem with Warframe is that most of the time, there really isn't much of a cycle to, you know, go into a mission, you know, get the loot and get out. With Warframe, it's not... It feels like there's not a lot of variables or replay value. With some of the missions just play out exactly the same. With Payday, there's always something new. There's always variables. Even if you play the same heist 1,000 times, each experience will be different, especially on higher difficulties. Anyway, this is the Zero Forma build. Adaptation is here just as a safety net. Because of how her damage reduction works, you technically don't need it. Do be careful about AoE attacks. Also, a thing I neglected is that you want some range on Zephyr because that will make your Sentinel actually be able to survive if it stays near you So there's that. Duration is probably the most important stat on her. Anyway, so normally I would run with this, but the funnel clouds electricity thing is pretty fun. So all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, in Trilby, we trust.